good morning. I hope that everybody is well. This is the first hello from Hugo, the new addition to our family, and he is a delightful little puppy. He really is. He's got great heart and he's a good little boy actually, very playful, but he listens, and Bertie has been wonderful with him, really wonderful. Bertie's like a big brother, a father, a guardian angel, all rolled into one. We had very much hoped that we were going to be lucky and have a puppy from Bertie's sister, but we didn't know for definite until the breeder had made a decision about which puppy that she was going to keep, and we weren't expecting that decision to be made for at least another 2 weeks. But because the UK went into lockdown this week, we had a phone call just after lunch on Monday to say that Hugo was available for us. We only wanted a boy, and it had to be a red boy. You know me, red is my colour. So we jumped in the car and we drove about 7 hours to get up to where Hugo was, and then we picked him up on Tuesday morning and we had that very long drive back down. But he was such a good boy in the car. He's younger than we normally have our puppies. We normally have our puppies at 10 weeks old, and there's a big difference between a 10-week-old and a 8-week-old puppy. But he was so good in the car, and it was such a long journey. Anyway, he has really kept us on our toes. He's too young to leave by himself. Even with Bertie, you know, you need to have eyes in the back of your head. We were all in bed at 8:30 last night. We were all shattered, including little Hugo. So anyway, you're going to see lots of photos of Hugo and Bertie Boo's adventures, and we're looking forward to seeing this little boy grow up. It's going to be difficult with coronavirus socialising him. There's no puppy classes that he can go to, so we're going to have to come up with some inventive ways for him to get to meet lots of other little dogs, because these weeks and months ahead are so important to his development. But he's a super boy. I just hope that he has Bertie's temperament. We shall see. Anyway, I'm going to go and put him back into another room. This room, we've always allowed our pets into this room, but only when they're house trained. The family room and our kitchen is all kitted out, and it's dog friendly. We've got stone floors, and it doesn't matter about the furniture. But this room is what we call our room. So anyway, I'm just going to go and put him back, and then I'll be back to talk about needlework. What's happened this week? Well, besides Hugo joining our family, on Wednesday I picked up from the framers Emma Lavinia Croker, who has now been glazed, and Emma's got the non-reflective museum quality glass in her now, and this glass is amazing. I hung her up straight away, and every time I've walked past her I've wanted to go and touch her, because you just don't think there's any glass there, and you just got to try and touch just to make sure. Here she is. I love this sampler. This is a red week in our household. Besides a red and white boxer puppy, I've got a red house sampler back from the framers, and I have got the sisters Bristol Orphanage sampler back from the framers with the glass put in as well. So these samplers are protected now for the future. This is a really beautiful Bristol sampler. I'm so blessed with Claudia Dutcher-Kitzler's friendship. She was so kind in allowing me to reproduce Maud and Clara's sampler, and of course Mary's sampler as well. This one I've hung in our family room, and Emma Lavinia Croker is actually hanging in my kitchen. I've got quite a nice sampler wall in what I call my working kitchen, and they look nice. The splashes of red around the house really looks lovely. Now I have not had much time to stitch with little Hugo, but I have done some more stitching, and what I've been doing, because it's very hard to concentrate when you've got a young puppy, I've been working the areas that I really don't have to study the pattern hard. I know what I'm meant to be stitching, so I've carried on with these borders. I'm working the borders down as I go, and I have been putting in the dividing bands. This is so Christmassy. This little row reminds me of poinsettias, although of course, you know, it's not intended to be poinsettias. Just so pretty. And this row that I started yesterday evening reminds me a little bit of holly, but of course again it's not holly. I sat down last night to start to stitch, and little Hugo wanted to get up on my lap and see what I was doing, and no sooner as he got on my lap that he fell asleep with his head resting on my frame, and I just didn't have the heart to move him. So I did try and stitch, but it wasn't easy. And do you know what? 8:30 came and we were all so tired that we all went to bed. Now, I'm normally a late bird, you know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, but just so tired. You forget what it's like to have a little puppy, and especially such an active little puppy as well. On my linen, I've got this beautiful needle minder which my dear friend Krista sent me, and it's delightful. I love a flamingo. I always think of Rod Stewart when I think of pink flamingos from his song. I used to love that song when I was younger. Anyway, I hope that when I film the video next week that I will have had a chance to put some more stitches in this sampler. I'm trying my hardest to still deal with emails and messages and orders, but my response time isn't quite as quick as normal because little Hugo is sort of really taking up huge amounts of time. Oh, what else has happened this week? Well, look at this. This is an oval Queen's hoop. I've never seen an oval one before, and I was so excited when I managed to secure this hoop. I do love these Queen's hoops. They're very good. They're just delightful to use. They hold your linen well, and if you're not familiar with the Queen's hoop, the tension is adjusted by turning that knob. They have a built-in felt strip around which helps grip your fabric, but these are not made any longer. These are vintage hoops which you have to sort of scour the resale sites and I suppose second-hand stores, thrift stores, antique stores maybe. I can't understand why they stopped making these, because these are just, I think these are just a wonderful idea of adjusting your hoops. I actually have a problem with my hands. I have a neck injury, so I don't have much feeling in the tips of my hands, and for me sometimes it's very difficult to turn small things, but this knob is very, very easy to turn. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I am delighted that I have an oval Queen's hoop, and that will be put to great use when I start travelling again. I stitch in a hoop when I stitch on the move. I also had a delivery of silks from Over Soie, and amongst the delivery of silks were some new colours in the Soie 103 range, and what I will do is I will insert these shade numbers into this video. They really are very, very pretty, and even on this dark grey day these silks are still gleaming. Who can resist the sheen? Very, very beautiful. And these are some useful colours. I'm so pleased to see two more greens and these sort of like grey, bluey, greeny blues with a hint of sort of greeny grey. That's probably the best way to describe them, because these colours you see so often in old samplers. So those are very, very useful colours for reproduction. I received an email from Janice at Traditional Stitches to say that they have all the silks in for Anne Morrison, and that they are really ahead of their shipping schedule. And she also said that she has a few spare kits for Anne Morrison. So if you would like to join the stitch along for Anne Morrison, there are a few of these booklets left, and when they're gone, they're gone. This booklet is not being reprinted, and Janice does have some spare kits. Access Commodities worked so hard to get those silks to Traditional Stitches. When you think that I think there's over 1,100 kits have been sold, it's quite amazing. So now that Janice has told me that she has the silks for everybody, and that she is way ahead of schedule shipping everything out, and we've seen in our Facebook group that lots of people have been receiving their kits, I am now going to kit up Anne Morrison. I feel, now that I know that everybody else is taken care of, that I can gather my silks. I have my booklet, I have my fabric, which was an offcut from another project, and I have my beautiful project bag, which colour coordinates to Anne Morrison. So I hope that maybe next weekend or the weekend after I will be able to show you my silks, and I will be ready to start in December. I'm really looking forward to stitching along with everybody, and I really want Anne Morrison to hang in my home as well. The model of Anne Morrison was stitched by Angela Bullbeck, who lives in Canada, and the model goes back to her. So that was some good news as well. Is there anything else? There probably is, but I can't think of it. I've got puppy brain at the moment. Okay, this is a bit of a rush, but I need to get back on puppy duty. I'm going to take Bertie out for a walk today, some one-to-one time with him, and there's so many things to do. My house looks as if a bomb's gone off. We've got lots of new puppy toys everywhere, and we've always, touch wood, been lucky with our dogs. They haven't been dogs that chew furniture, so we're trying to sort of get Hugo focused on his toys rather than anything else, and he's being very good with that at the moment. Okay, until the next time, stay safe, stay well, and bye-bye.